Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season 12. We are here for round 17 at the Circuit of the Americas. It's the United States Grand Prix. Here in Texas, 13 drivers at the moment, still waiting for one more to join of Dello. To make that 14, hopefully it will join. But yeah, 18 minutes ahead of us then, as the drivers will head out onto the track. Should get about 3 runs or so in on their selected allocation of tyres. But yeah, the next chapter and a closing chapter soon enough, because we've only got 4 races left then of this season. 100 points on offer in terms of the drivers' standings, 176 in the constructors, and both titles are certainly still very much undecided, because this race, like a lot in the past, is usually very detrimental to the outcome of the World Championship. Texas, that always delivers classic races in terms of strategy and penalties and wheel-to-wheel racing. It's definitely, hopefully, going to be another one to write as the drivers are heading out onto the track. So, in terms of the Drivers' Championship, it is between Oren and Samurai, who's currently in the pit lane, but you might have noticed that Oren is not there on the leaderboard. Oren and Samurai have both entered every single race so far this season, but for the first time, Oren, the championship leader, is not here today. The Irishman in Ireland, so hopefully he'll be back next week. I'm pretty sure he will. It's just this one he's missing. So this is a golden opportunity for the Williams of Samurai to close that gap. It is a 32-point gap as he exits the pit lane now from his Williams garage. Yeah, 36 points. He got P6. Oren got a penalty for the incident with Samurai last week in Vegas. Dropped him from 7th to 8th. So Samurai gained 4 points on him. So yeah, 36 went down to 32. So even if he scores any points today, that gap will reduce even more. Minimum, P6 would at least get it to within 1 victory. So he knows each point position is very crucial in his bid to close up to Oren's lead. He's just passed the threshold of 200 points. He's on 201. His total last season was 202. And that was from doing 17 races because he missed 3. This is his 17th race of the season as well. So as long as I guess he gets 9th or better, he'll have beaten last season at least. But he knows what's on the table. In terms of the constructors, which is usually a 2 versus 2, instead of the drivers being a 1v1, it's also a 1v1, at least for today, because the last few weeks we've seen 2v1s or 1v2s or 2v2s. I think for the first time it's a 1v1 between RB and Aston Martin. Because Oren's not here, that leaves Callum, the sole Aston today, and Yonder's not racing, so Yannick will be representing the RB. Yannick, 1 week on from when he took his first pole position of his Tier 2 career at Vegas. Well, we're still virtually in the States, and here at Texas, we'll see what Yannick can do as Dello has joined. He should pick, I guess, the Mercedes and see what he can do. Dello, definitely a force to be reckoned with, I think, today. As we look to the likes of the Haas, who are always the wild card when it comes to these sorts of races, as Cookster sets the first time of a 33.333. There is Fanatic exiting the pits in his Stars and Stripes Haas American livery. Fanatic, who joined at the midway point of the season. He's been the star of the second half, I think it's safe to say, as he exits the pits with his teammate of Toby right behind him, supporting the normal Haas livery. And yeah, Fanatic has won 2 of the last 3 races, as Dello won the other one. So 2 new winners in the last 3 weeks. Could it be Fanatic, Dello, Fanatic, and would Dello win again today to make that 2 each in the last 4 races? Or can Fanatic go back-to-back at home for his team, as Dello has got in his Mercedes, so that's great. So, Cookster currently setting the benchmark then, 1.3 seconds ahead of the 2 Alpines, and then comes Jack behind him in 4th. We've got Birdie returning again. He'll be looking to finally get that first podium of the season, as he's come quite close, like he was last week, within a 10th of getting P3, as he fought Yannick and Grush over the line. It was a great 3-way scrap, but he just fell short. Obviously trying the hard medium, which I think is the only strategy he's done really this whole season. So I can bet that he'll probably start on the white striped tyres. But he's currently in the pits, so is Dello. Yannick to the line, 4/10 behind Cookster. So that is a pretty good banker for the Red Bull, because Grush has also gone 2/10 off it, but he's gone onto the front row as Samurai goes P5. Will be going again, I'm sure. It's his usual quali run plan. But yeah, the two Haas cars will now begin to do their first run, and then Adam will follow suit. I think he's invalidated his run. So around the final corner for the Haas, let's take you on board for this lap then. Elevated climb up to turn 1. Car exiting the pit lane of Birdie entering turn 1. That's going to be a slight eyesore for the Haas driver, but he should be able to get out of the way. On the power, but it's so easy to lose the car. You have to feather the throttle throughout turn 2. Easy flat, followed along by the S section. 3, 4. Your main worry is just not invalidating, which he is making well sure of. Of course, it's only a banker lap, and we know Fnatic usually likes to get a good feel for the car, doing many laps in qualifying. Through the start of the middle sector then, very technical, sliding on the exit there. It's so difficult to get that section of the track right. And then a heavy braking zone into the left-hander before the main DRS straight of the track. Qualifying always set a bit later than the race, so the glare of the sun. It's usually only Texas that has this kind of issue, with drivers maybe just popping up a little complaint or two about it. But so far, so good. Heavy braking then into the left-hander. You can get away with cutting the inside slightly. Fnatic chooses not to, and I've just realised I don't even have the lap data. There we go. Right, through the final sector then, the corner's coming at you. Left, right, this long left-hander as you get on the power, and Samurai, by 7/10 of a second, has just popped himself up in a first. Flat through the 3 right-handers for Fnatic. And then just 2 left-hand corners to go. So easy to invalidate, but he's keeping it well within the confines. And we'll see what Toby can do as he's a few corners behind. Round the final corner then for Fnatic. And yeah, this is a few seconds off, like we've seen. But that is basically the outright basics of how to do a foundation lap, I guess. Toby's invalidated his run. But yeah, mammoth time from the Williams there, who knows what's at stake today. So he's definitely put in his practice. What about his teammate Birdie, who's just begun his lap then? So through the S section he goes, and he'll be hoping that the Haas returns the favour of what he did last lap and let him go. However, the Haas isn't exactly in the greatest place in terms of dirty air, and whether Fnatic's just going again or not. No, he's pulling off. Could have done that a lot earlier, but anyway, Birdie continues on. Luckily, there is a lot of time left in qualifying, so I'm sure Birdie will go quicker than this lap, but you never know. Birdie on the straight then. Dello just in front of him. So 2 definitely to watch, as Birdie and Dello, especially in Singapore, were making their way up with a lot of good moves. Sending it to the inside was Dello on Yannick, who let him have the place, but went so wide to begin with. A 1.9 for the middle sector, so Williams definitely pushing. Both wins for Samurai this season have come through the aid of Birdie, both in Japan and Spa, where Birdie managed to hold up others behind. Whether that would have made Samurai not win or not, it's up for debate, but he got on with it. He knew what he needed to do, and he's got a bit of a rear gunner just in case. 32.6 time to beat them. We'll see what Birdie can do then. It's going to be a 33.1 to put himself P3. Half a tenth behind Grush, who improved back up to the front row, and I think Cookster found a couple tenths as well. Oh no, he didn't. He's currently found a 10th in the first sector, and Dello went 5th when all that was happening as well. So Warren's up there in 8th at the moment on the medium compound tyres. Warren, who had a good qualifying last week, considering that was his first in a while. But come the final runs, he just dropped down outside the top 10. Toby and Fnatic, once again, just trying to improve their times. Adam trying to get a time on the board. But right now, Samurai, 4/10 advantage. Oh, he definitely needs to lock in with the final 4 races to go. Considering he's the hunter, he's got nothing to lose. And this really needs to be the best version of Samurai we have ever seen. He's heading out there for his next run. Grush will be heading in the pits. Same with Birdie. Cookster, I don't believe his lap has gone great, so he'll go again, it seems. What about Yannick? It looks like he's pushing, but I think he might be a bit too far behind. Yeah, that lap time's way far off Callum, up by 3.5 tenths in the first sector. He's got to find at least 6 to improve his position. Callum, who obviously got involved in that lap 1 incident with Samurai, starting ahead of him, losing the car on the exit of 3 into Samurai, putting him in the wall. We found out later he did get slight wing damage from that, which he had to have the rest of the race. He could not afford to change his wing and lose that much time. And then obviously a few laps later, the incident with Oren happened. Both were deemed both Aston's fault. Callum got 2 IPs and a 5. Oren got 1 IP and a 5. And we didn't catch it, but Warren spun Louis at the end of the strip and got 3 IPs and 10 seconds because he hit Louis wide into the wall. It bounced him off into Callum, and that spun him around. Anyway, back to Callum then. Round the final corner, he's up by a few tenths. Has he found any more improvement? Crosses the line and goes up to P4 then. Found quite a lot in that last sector to put himself on the second row for now. Louis in a Ferrari sandwich, Ferrari Alpine, with Cal just outside of it. Both Hassers. I mean, we've seen this so much now in the last however many races, where both Hassers, probably right at the end of quali, will just shoot themselves straight up to the top 7 or so. We saw it in Baku when they both locked out the second row. We saw it in Vegas last week when they got both cars into the top 7. But that's going to take quite a bit of beating Samurai. I mean, he's the only one in the 32s right now. And I feel like there's still time on the board left. Finishes the first set to split, and look at that. 24.997, up by a tenth and a half already. He is in the zone. I know he's put a lot of practice into this one. I saw quite a lot of these guys on time trial and doing events a good hour before we readied up. Maybe even an hour and a half before. So, yeah, it looks like people like this one. And they're looking forward to it. So Callum will head in the pit lane, so we'll carry on with Samurai then. Up by a tenth and a half, first set to split. We'll see what he can do come the end of the middle, into the left-hand corner at the end of the straight. He just looks so dialed in. He's up by 2.5 tenths, and if you look at that, a 1.808. Birdie had a 1.9. So up until the middle sector, it's only about a tenth and a bit, nearly 2 tenths. So it's this last sector that I believe everyone's finding the biggest amounts of time, which is kind of funny considering this is one you'd least expect with how simplistic it is sometimes. But anyway, carrying the momentum with the speed. I'm sure he's got a little bit of battery left and he'll cross the line. This should surely be an improvement for the man who's already on provisional pole, found 4 tenths of a second and now has an 8-tenth margin to the rest. This is Samurai in qualifying like we've never seen before. He's had 2 pole positions. His first ever Tier 2 race last season in Australia, and then one earlier this season was it was Japan, because he converted it into victory. He was the first to do that this season. So yeah, Japan, 12 races ago. And this is surely looking set for a second pole position. But qualifying's one thing, the race is a completely different kettle of fish. But yeah, right now that is a gap not even the likes of Oren and whatnot and Dello have usually seen this season. Crazy. But we'll see who can challenge. And if someone's on a lap now, that might be a bit detrimental towards the very end. So for the next few minutes, that might stay how it is. But Grush is out there, and I'm sure he'll do his classic 2. You know, Samurai does his 2 runs at the start. Grush does his 2 runs at the end on the same tyre. So we'll see who can, well, even get into the 32s, let alone challenge Samurai. A 32.196. Tier 1 last season. I'm pretty sure we were doing, was it high 31s or high 30s? I think it might have been high 30s. 30.5, 30.89. Probably. So there's still like a second between Tier 2 and Tier 1, obviously, but there's a good second between Samurai and Grush. But this is Tier 2 and Tier 2.5 at the moment. So let's see. Might be a battle for front row at this rate. And that front row is crucial. That run up to turn 1, the inside line and whatnot. So we'll see. 3 minutes 15 left on the clock then, and Grush, the closest challenger to Samurai. Birdie is up there in third, however. Birdie's best qualifying in Tier 2 is third. He's never started on the front row. At least I believe... did he get a front row in the last couple of races? I'm going to double check actually. But as Grush carries on with his first sector, has he found any time? Yes, he has a 24.894. So he's actually up on Samurai in the first sector. Birdie started 9th last week. Baku, I believe didn't Birdie do something in Baku? No, not Baku. Nope, not that. Spa. Apologies. Spa, a few weeks, 5 weeks ago or whatnot. Birdie qualified second alongside Oren. So second is the best qualifying for Birdie. So he's never had a pole. But if he gets second today, I'm sure that would be a lot better than Spa, because that would be a Williams front row lockout. Now look at that, a 1.7 for Grush in the middle sector. That is still quicker than Samurai in the first 2 sectors combined. So, last sector, make or break. Let's see how much the track is improving, or is it really down to Samurai's pace? Grush has not really got too much traffic in front of him to worry about. Grush, who's taken 5 poles this season in a row, looking for his 7th overall. So Grush round the final corner, crosses the line, improves, but again, it is that last sector that he's missing out a huge chunk of lap time towards the Williams. As you can see, loads of people on their outlaps now. Cookster, I believe, just finished his first sector split now. It's up by 12 thousandths. What about Cal? He's finishing his first sector split as well, up by 0.4 of a second. And then, the Haas cars, 1 chance left then. For all of them, bit of a gaggle at the start of the second sector, as the 2 Williams are finishing their outlap and beginning their final run. And Grush should be able to get one more run in if he can. So we'll see what Birdie can do then. Along with Callum and Cookster and even Dello and Yannick. The track's ramping up, and this is peak grip for them all. They've got to take every opportunity possible, give it absolutely everything, and see where they are when they cross the line. Birdie, first sector split. It's a 24.9. He's down by 1/10.5, but he's still level on what Samurai's doing. However, he's got to navigate his way through a bit of traffic there, which he has done, as Jack will be no higher than 10th. His teammate Warren still currently in the top 10. Well, that's Samurai. He's one of the last 2 cross the line, I believe. Oh no, the track's like half split. He's up by half a tenth. So he's going even quicker. Dello's crossing the line. Followed by Warren. There's a huge amount of cars in the final couple corners, including both Haas cars. As crossing the line goes Cal to beat his teammate and both Ferraris to go P8. And we'll see the Ferrari of Warren now cross the line. Looks like Adam will be... I don't even know if he's going to make it. He's getting out of the way of the Williams of Birdie, who's up by 3 thousandths in the middle sector. So right now, Birdie not improving by a lot, but the last sector, as we've seen throughout this qualifying session, can gain you a lot of lap time if you're on it. Birdie sends it into the penultimate corner, trying to find every ounce of lap time. And this will be the first lap in the next 2. Yannick's in the pits, so he won't be any higher than 7th. Birdie crosses the line, and he stays where he is in 3rd. Adam, 13th. That's Grush in the wall. Grush at sector 1 won't be no higher than 2nd either. Callum is 4th. And now we're expecting Samurai, who's up by even more. Round the final corner, this session has been dominated by one man. Samurai crosses the line. We're into the 31s now. With a 31.987, Samurai is on pole position for the United States Grand Prix. Unless someone can really pull out a lap time, as there's a bit of a fight going on between Cookster and Warren there. They're really slowing down. Louis beats his teammate for 8th as well, but now we see what the 2 Haas cars and Dello can do, who's up by a whole second. Could Dello snatch the front row from Grush? It's there for the taking for the one-time race winner, multiple pole sitter. Dello crosses the line. He does go up to the front row, and now we see what the Hasses can do. Toby goes 8th. Fanatic, last week's race winner, crosses the line. He goes up to the 2nd row. Very important for the Haas car. But I believe that is it. And Samurai, did it ever look in doubt? He's on pole for the US Grand Prix. By quite a margin too, Dello, 4.5 tenths. Jeez. And then Grush 3rd, Fanatic 4th, Birdie 5th. I'm sure he'll still be okay with that. Callum 6th, Cooks to 7th, Yannick 8th. Don't know why he couldn't get a final run in there. Maybe he's saving a set of tyres. Toby down in 9th. Louis manages to get into the top 10. That little fight between both Ferraris and Alpines, the 4 of them. Louis comes out on top. And Adam, slowest qualifier in this session. Warren saying he got impeded by Cookster. Well, that is quite the statement. I don't know if Aaron is watching, but he might be feeling a bit nervous. Because remember, if Samurai wins this race, 32 points goes down to just 7 with 3 races to go. And for a lot of the season, we really didn't know if we were going to have an actual title fight. It looked maybe after the first quarter that Oren was just going to run away with it, and he did. He nearly had a 50-point lead at one point. And then the second half of the season began, and it was just a constant back and forth. Every race, Samurai would gain, and then Oren would gain, then Samurai would gain. And, well, this is obviously going to be the first race in the second half where, obviously, Oren's not going to gain. I mean, it's possible Samurai couldn't gain, but then it would just be level. But Samurai slowly but surely closing that gap. It was, 43 points after Spa. Went down to 18, went back up to 33, then 36, then 32. And I'm sure if Samurai plays his cards right, it'll be a lot less than that come the end of the race. Right now, he's in the best possible position, but it's Tier 2. It's race day, and anything can happen. But I'm sure he's got his sights set on one thing, and that is victory. But he's got 13 other people behind him who are going to try and stop him. So let's see who's best prepared. Right now, they've all loaded in. Everyone on medium compound tyres. They'll adjust their fuel loads, setup tweaks, and obviously mainly strategy. We can see at the bottom there, Warren already switching to the hards. You'd assume this man will. Williams, who have already broken the record for most fastest lap. Oh, okay. No way. Birdie's actually put softs on. The complete opposite. The complete opposite of what I predicted. Birdie is going aggressive at the start instead of the end. He's going softs. Wow. I mean, maybe a 2-stop potentially. I haven't really mentioned that, but fair enough. So Yannick, who is another driver who likes sometimes, in 8th on the white stripe, and Warren. That's it. And then Birdie on the softs and everyone else on the mediums. Fair enough. Right then. Formation lap time. There's the possible race strategy. Should be a simple medium hard, hard medium. And if you start on the softs, could Birdie potentially get those to within a 1-stop range? Soft hard. I think it's possible for maybe Tier 2 because, they're not as hard on their tyres potentially. Well, Birdie's certainly going to make up some good ground, you'd assume. With Fnatic, Grush, Dello, and what will be the likes of when he fights his teammate. Will he still be playing the team game? Obviously, he had to beat his teammate last week because he had a better strategy, better race. His teammate was in the walls with damage. Came home 4th, while Samurai was 6th. But right now, it's a completely different race towards that. I'm sure Dello will also be giving Samurai one for his money. Grush has actually popped up ahead of Dello on this formation lap. We'll see how their starts go. Fnatic. Probably, well, I mean, it's only his 7th race, but he's already probably made a name for himself as being the man for the strategy in Tier 2. It's pretty simple. He goes longer than anyone on the mediums at the start, puts the hard compound tyres on. He's got great, consistent pace, and he can definitely score some good points. So, both championships still very much undecided, and I feel like there's still going to be a lot to see. With 4 races to go, 100 points left on offer in the drivers. Samurai knows he can take home 25 of those to close the 32-point lead. Getting temp in his tyres. Will he point straight? Will he slightly angle himself? Nope, he's straight as an arrow on the first slot with Dello alongside him to his left. And that climb up the hill. No one in front of these two. Birdie's failed his parking as the final cars load into their grid slots. With Adam, the 14th and final car. And we're ready to go racing. Here at the States, the back-to-back header. We already saw drama last week with the top 2 colliding. Oren's not here today. Samurai knows he can gain a lot. 5 lights on. It's lights out. That was a very long hold for the US Grand Prix. Delo's got a good start into turn 1, and it looks like he's going to draw alongside the Williams. Samurai's going to have to hang it around the outside, which he does. So Samurai's ahead of the Mercedes. Grush, then Fnatic, as Birdie looks to the inside on those soft compound tyres. He's got Fnatic. 1 down, 2 or 3 to go, as down the inside goes Delo to take the lead of the US Grand Prix ahead of Samurai. So he got caught the Williams nap in there slightly, and Delo is now into the lead. Jack's down in last, and Cal's also dropped further down. So we see Louis gained a few places too. And yeah, good start from Delo and Birdie then. One Williams losing ground, one Williams gaining ground. And I'm sure Birdie's not done yet, because he's got Grush right in front of him. We see Cal find a way with Adam, who goes slightly wide there, as Warren on the back of Toby. Look to the front then. Closing up is Samurai. He wants that lead back. And to the inside goes the Williams. Birdie can't quite get Grush, and Samurai can't quite get Delo, but he's still putting him under big pressure. Is one of the championship contenders. Delo's a reserve. He doesn't need to worry about that. Samurai just has to pick his moment. Birdie trying to spot a moment. Can he switch back the McLaren? He might have slightly tagged him there, which may have halted his momentum, but Birdie is still going to brave it out. Round the outside, they bang side pods to tyres, and it allows Grush to stay in front. I think a bit clumsy from both of them there. Maybe Birdie could have gone wider. I don't know, but that has cost them time and has let the top 2 run away slightly. So Birdie on those softs has only gained 1 place. Make that 2 by the end of the first lap. And he's up in a P3. And he's got everyone behind him now. Fnatic and Grush slowing right down on the start-finish straight. Don't know what happened there. But yeah, Cookster now trying to get ahead of the McLaren. Can't quite. Goes wide. And yeah, Callum sits in behind in 7th. So into the pits is Jack. He must have been involved in an incident then. DRS enabled then. And you can assume that Samurai will definitely try and get past Delo. Look at the different lines they're trying to take. Inside, outside. There is a bit of a gap to third, but considering Birdie's on the softs, I'm sure that gap will close. Right, let's enable everything else. Mind you, that's the tyres. We'll put on penalties, because I'm sure that's going to be a big talking point come the end of the race, maybe even the halfway point. So riding on board with Samurai, who's got more battery, as Louis is fighting Toby, and it should be easy pass for the lead here. Samurai to the inside on Delo, and he retakes the lead. At the end of the strip. I think we're still in Vegas at this rate. As Callum fights with Cookster, gets the move done. Toby to the inside of Louis, gets the move pretty much done as Louis fighting back to the inside. Yeah, Samurai takes the lead at the end of the straight. That might have been a warning for Louis, but he's got it back ahead of Toby. So he spotted an opportunity. Birdie already back within a second of Delo, who now finds himself in a Williams sandwich. Samurai so close to track limits on the exit there of the penultimate corner. Rounds the final corner, and we start lap 3 now, and the top 3, nose to tail nearly, as Fnatic is going to try and get within a second here, blasting his battery. You're starting to see a few gaps now emerge, as it looks like Louis making this a 2-horse race, split down the middle of the field. But Toby's back in front, but now he's got to push in this first sector to close up to Cookster, who's trying to hang on to Callum. Grush now trying to hang on to Fnatic, who's within a second just about. Pretty level battery between the top 2. Birdie's used a little bit more to close in. That's very close to the warning. That probably was one. And what does Birdie do? Gained 1 place in the first half of lap 1. Gained the other at the end. And now sets his sight on Delo. But Delo knows what's coming, so he uses his battery and the DRS, and you'd assume there won't be any moves for the top 3. Fnatic did not get DRS. Grush did, Callum did, and Cookster did, as we see Yannick fighting his way past Louis down to P10. So Yannick, the first hard runner in the field, as he goes slightly off there. He completed the move on Louis well before they got to the corner, so I think that's all right then for the RB, but he's struggling. Is he on the hards as Louis down the inside spots a gap? I'm sure Yannick will be able to hang it around the outside, which he does. Gets on the power, covers him off, carries his way on into 9th, started 8th, and you know how it is by now. Lap 6 is always usually the lap where the hard compound tyres become better than the mediums, so we'll see what Yannick can do. He's got to go long into this race. And you'd assume the first to stop of these lot will be Birdie. You'd assume at one point he would be leading the race. Whether that will come into play with Samurai and helping him or whatnot, we'll see. We'll find out. Pretty level gaps now. Fnatic and Groosh under pressure from Callum. Trying to make his way up. Remember, it's Aston versus RB. 2 points separate them in the Constructors' standings. And there's one car from each here to represent. And right now, Aston would be extending their margin slightly. But I'm sure Yannick will close up. Adam gets the first penalty then of the race. Pretty equidistant gap still between the top three. So Samurai keeping a good margin between them. Literally, that was exactly identical between Samurai to Dello and Dello to Birdie for a split frame there. So Dello, 40%. Samurai blasting to make sure he has that gap. Birdie not blasting everything. He knows these guys can tag him along slightly and get them ahead of Fnatic. Who's definitely one to watch. You should not discount the Haas as Groosh under pressure from Callum now to the inside. Callum making moves as Jack gets a penalty. So the bottom two with 3 seconds, and Callum gets ahead of Cookster, has now got ahead of Groosh, who's really struggling here. It just seemed like at the end of lap 1 he lost a lot of composure. And Cookster now all over the back of the McLaren, spots a gap, blasts his battery. He's going to try and go around the outside. Thinks better of it. Groosh to the inside, holds him off. And yeah, now Callum's got some work to do. Louis, 3-second time penalty. They're dropping like flies now. And I think you will have a good race if you do not get a 3-second penalty or more in this race. So outright from the get-go, Fnatic's just lacking a couple tenths. And Birdie, we're already on lap 5, and you can see he's nearly outside a second. So are those softs already starting to take its toll. Dello has turned up the power because he's much closer to Samurai, who's not really got as much battery as the Mercedes. Right now, it's still early doors. He can afford to lose the lead for now and try and get it back later. If Birdie had a plan of maybe getting Dello, it's not quite worked, but you'd sure as think at least that he's going to undercut. But whether Birdie's doing a 1 or a 2, well, we're soon to find out. Dello closes in on Samurai, then to the inside goes the Mercedes to retake the lead of the US Grand Prix. Samurai with the switchback. Does he fight it, or does he just want Dello to hold on? For now, Dello's putting it in defensive lines, which is costing them time, which might allow Fnatic to close up. And yeah, Samurai does stay behind. Doesn't look like he wanted to fight. I'll tell you who is wanting to fight. It's Toby and Cookster, who looks like he's defending from the Haas car. In P7 right now. So they're all starting to space out a little. Just behind the leaders. You see Fnatic's gained a few tenths, but still not quite enough. I'm sure when Birdie's tyres start to fall off more and more, Fnatic will be able to close in. But as we start lap 6, one man to watch is Yannick. As he's still not really made much inroad on the gap ahead. But by now, he should. As there's a change of leadership. Down into turn 1. Samurai on Dello. Didn't bother waiting until the straight. Got it done in turn 1. Last season where we saw Samurai's teammate of Kobe fighting Adam in the Haas for the championship. Texas was a very crucial race, as obviously one got a penalty, one didn't, and that decided the winner. And 1 season later, Samurai is now in the hot seat to fight for the championship. He knows every point is critical, but he knows the win will guarantee him the most, as Adams had a moment there as Warren now gets a penalty. So the top 3 much closer to one another. Fnatic, has he just missed out on DRS once again? Yes, he has. So Dello can see Samurai flashing. He's used up all his battery, so Dello to the inside. I guess he just wants a good fight. And Samurai will still hang it around the outside. Birdie watching this unfold. He's got the front seat for this. So Samurai still to the inside. And the top 2 still go wheel to wheel. Dello fighting it. And now he's got the inside line. And will Samurai hang it around the outside? Not quite. So Dello retakes the lead. And that has certainly helped Fnatic get back within a second. And you wonder what mindset is Samurai in as Warren and Cal fight for P11. Does he just want to trade with Dello? Does he want to fight with Dello? Do they want to maintain the speed so they don't let too many people join the train? Right now, 3 has gone to 4. And you never know. If it carries on, maybe Callum, who's looking racy in these opening laps, could join it too. But right now, Williams have 2 cars in the mix, so they can play around with the strategy. For now, I think Samurai has a rear gunner in Birdie, because Birdie on 7 lap-old softs, you'd assume at this point he's looking more in his mirrors than forward. But I wonder if Samurai's just starting to look after his tyres, because we know tyre wear has been a bit of an issue for him this and last season. So maybe he's just trying to hope Dello can drag him along slightly now. He saved up a little bit of battery. It's actually very similar to Dello's, but Birdie's got double that. And Fnatic, always with a full battery, it seems, in these early stages. So, lap 7. What about Yannick? He's cleaned. Well, he's got within 2 seconds now. Birdie's blasting. Samurai is as well. Birdie stops blasting as soon as he sees the red light flash. And Samurai, not too close for a move quite yet. Adam, another time penalty on his behalf. Cookster with Toby, side by side between the Red Bull and the Haas. The Haas gives him just enough space. They continue to go side by side. Cookster with the inside. Toby trying to switch back on Cookster. Gets the power on. So difficult with aging tyres. And now we'll get another switch back on. See if he can get the momentum and the power. But once again, Cookster's holding him off. And now Toby spotting a gap to the inside that quickly closes. And Cookster doing a great defence so far, which you'd assume would allow Yannick to close it. But he's just not really closing in as much as you'd think he would, considering he's on the hards. So the medium's still proving to have some good life left in them. Samurai really struggling to save some battery, it seems. You'd assume being within 1 second and his teammate right behind him, this first sector would be ideal. But I wonder if he's just not, if he's trying not to let Dello run away with it. No one's got any fuel lights, so that's fine. Adam goes into the pit lane then. Looks a little slow, making sure not to hit the wall there. Carry on then. And I guess this next lap or two is make or break for Birdie, whether he converts this into a 1 or a 2 stop. If he pits now, definitely 2. If he continues on for a few more laps, then he's made the soft-hard strategy work for him. And he's doing well, to be fair, considering he's on 8 lap-old soft still. Right, Samurai's saved up a little bit more battery, so he should be okay now. He's still blasting, even though, yeah, he could turn it off pretty early there, because it's back down to under 20. Fnatic closing in on Birdie, putting him under pressure, which means he has to put Samurai under pressure, which means he has to put Dello under pressure, and Toby, too much pressure. He goes off the track, but Cookster does as well, as they continue to fight on then, the Red Bull versus the Haas. And considering Cookster left the track, I guess Toby could have kept that. But down the inside, argy-bargy with the Red Bull, getting back in front of Toby. Toby, I'm sure, will not be happy with that. So Cookster once again places his car right where he needs to. That has definitely allowed Yannick this time around to close up to these two. So Cookster once again holds his own. Let's Groosh have a little bit of breathing room. Let's Callum make it nearly a 5-car fight for the lead. I said don't discount the Aston. He's looking quick. Samurai practically pushing Dello along now. I was going to point out at the end of the straight in the middle of the lap, that front right of Birdie's, you can see the wear starting to unfold, and especially on the rears too. Lap 9, and well, the earliest you could pit, maybe lap 9, 10, you could be okay, as you can see the struggles from the Williams, who still is within DRS, has still got plenty of battery, but Fnatic's got even more. Oh, and there we go. Samurai's got his battery well back up. So it looks like they've all managed to take a bit of a breather. Callum has just missed out on DRS, though. They're all blasting. Is Samurai going to try and retake the lead of the US Grand Prix? Down the inside on Dello, who breaks much later. But Samurai has the inside line on the Mercedes. He's now ahead, but Dello with the switch. Let's look from Birdie's POV. Down the inside on Dello. On Samurai goes Dello, but Samurai with a switch back to try and retake the lead. We've got yellows. That's Jack at the back. And for now, Dello back in front of the Williams. Good fight between these two. I think Dello just about kept that on track in the Mercedes. So yeah, 5 cars all within DRS of one another now. And it's going to get tough throughout these 3 right-handers to get full throttle. Might have to need a little bit of a lift, as there we go. Birdie's in on lap 9 onto 10. So you'd assume with the undercut, he will be in the lead. When all goes well, he should come out in a bit of free air right at the back behind Cow, as into the pit lane is Cookster, fending off any sort of undercut attempt from Toby, who's under pressure from Yannick. So, what does Birdie go on to? Hard compound tyres. So, he is going to try the one-stop. And he will have the oldest hard compound tyres of the field. So, Dello continues to lead then. Here on lap 10, there's a Fnatic just outside the 1 second as they cross the detection point. It said 1.001, so has the game been nice to Fnatic? Has he just about got it? Because it then dipped under a second. Yes, the game has given Fnatic DRS to stick with these guys. Samurai blasting, trying to get back in front of Dello, which he is going to. Down the inside on Dello. And it's all dependent of who's going to blink first, who's going to pit. Dello goes off the track there, even though Samurai left him the room. So Dello struggling there, and now Samurai into the lead. As we have more yellows, as that's Jack spun around on the start-finish straight. It's been a horror show for him, as Birdie already getting past Cal, caught him at a pretty good moment there on the track. And for Samurai, as look at Dello, he's really struggling. He doesn't have the option now of blinking when Dello does, because he's now the lead car. So now whatever Samurai does, Dello can react. So what will happen on lap 10? Samurai stays out, Dello stays out too, and obviously Fnatic was going to stay out, and so does Callum. They're going to come up to Lapjack, who's in spin central right here. For some reason, he's lost his left end plate. So that's a big shame. Yeah, you can see Dello very low on battery now. The tables have turned between the pair. There's Yannick down the inside on Toby. Looks like he just kept that within track limits in terms of keeping a tyre on at one point. Dello got very close there to Samurai. It got to a 10th. So surely the dirty air was going to affect him, and it has. Dello has a 3-second time penalty now. So it really looks like he's struggling. Let's look, gap to the leader. Birdie is 18 seconds behind. You can more than bet that he will lead once these four pit. Well, be ahead of them at least, because obviously Yannick will lead for a few laps. Warren, second time penalty. Dello closing up on Samurai. Will he get the move done? Samurai's blasting to defend him. So it's going to need to be a bit of a lunge from Dello. Gets alongside, into the braking zone, down the inside. Dello later on the brakes, gets the place. And Samurai with the switchback. Still going to fight it out. But Dello looks like he's got the composure, at least on the apex, on the exit. Samurai still just making Dello check his mirrors. He's gone a bit wide, but he's going to get the momentum from it. So Dello stays in front for now. And with these very worn tyres, these kind of corners are so treacherous now to go full throttle. It's a big risk. But now Samurai's behind. He can react to what Dello's doing. Lap 11 onto 12. Dello stays out, so Samurai decides now is a good time to pit. And Callum follows him in. Stops, doesn't speed. Same with Callum. So, Fnatic obviously going longer. Same with Dello. And exiting the pit lane, that's Jack fixing his wing. So that was just in front of Samurai. I don't think that cost him anything. Callum's already done with his stop. Aston obviously earlier in the pit lane than the Williams. There's Birdie overtaking Callum and his teammate. So Samurai exits onto the track in clean air. And yeah, a couple seconds behind his teammate. Callum only 1.4 behind. So depending on their pace, this could get quite interesting. Callum, obviously the teammate of Oren, already had an incident with Samurai last week. If he'll keep it clean if he is anywhere near Samurai, but he's lost a couple tenths to the Williams there, who's getting on with it. And, well, as Adam gets another time penalty, we have yellows. I think that's just Jack moving for blue flags. And there's a change of leadership. Fnatic to the inside on Dello. And he's got the move done. Very good. From the Haas, Dello just looks like he's really struggling here. I thought I'd also point out, Fnatic's in cockpit cam. Don't know if anyone knew that, but it's very impressive considering the success he's had in the second half of the season. So, yeah, the Haas Stars and Stripes livery passes the Stars and Stripes tarmac on his left and leads the US Grand Prix for probably another lap. You'd assume... No? Wow, okay, fair enough. I thought he'd go even longer, but okay, that's probably the earliest I've seen Fnatic pit in a race. So Dello follows him right in. They're going to have one lap fresher tyres then. Yannick will lead the Grand Prix. So Fnatic did lead a lap, because now Yannick's going to overtake him. Let's check back in with the Williams. and the Aston. Pretty even gaps. Warren staying out. Obviously, he's on the hards. That could cause a bit of interest. Toby is going longer than Fnatic then on his stint. So Fnatic and Dello exit the pit lane. There's Samurai. Jack is out in the pit lane. Where is Callum? Just in front of Fnatic. So Callum's managed to undercut the Haas, who exits right behind him. And same with Dello. So these three could get it on as they close up to the Williams. As Birdie's trying to close up to Warren. These next couple corners. Can Birdie get within a second? As Cookster now gets a time penalty. And yeah, Birdie has managed to get that DRS. So when do the hard runners decide to pit? Around about lap 16? 15 to 17, optimally? Probably. Anyway, Birdie blasting. Warren, being Warren, will obviously defend it. Birdie around the outside of the Ferrari, who goes deep into the corner, tags Birdie. Birdie sticks it, still on the track, and that was all Warren could really do. It was aggressive, but I guess it was fair. Slight contact, loses the car slightly, and Birdie is ahead, but down the inside, Warren fighting away with it, hits Birdie again. But Birdie survives, I guess is the word to use against Warren. And now Samurai's got to try and get ahead of him. Keeping a constant gap to Callum. The gap has stayed how it is as Birdie has now got a 3-second time penalty. That kind of pen that cost him the likes of a win last season in Singapore. Right now, that's going to hurt his race. Toby's into the pit lane. So Callum still in front of Fnatic. Dello's actually lost out a bit on this lap to the Haas. So it's like Dello's just struggling right now. Samurai should get DRS from Warren. He'll expect Birdie should be able to get over a second ahead of the Ferrari. Warren with no battery. Samurai with plenty. So you think it would just be a copy and paste from last lap, but we'll see how much he closes up. This is pretty much what the gap was between Birdie to Samurai. Between Birdie to Warren. So now Samurai to Warren. He's got to try and do the same thing. He's just got to play it cool, play it safe. As Warren slides on the exit there. Samurai with 100% battery pretty much. And Warren waiting a bit later into the straight to blast his battery. But now Samurai can see the red light flashing. Where will he go? He'll go to the right, fly past the Ferrari, and stay behind him for now. That was even easier than what Birdie did. So Samurai is ahead. And now Callum, Fnatic. And where is Dello? He's not even in the frame. He's losing a second a lap on new tyres. He's got the newest tyres of anyone in the top 7. What is going on with the Mercedes of Dello? But yeah, now Callum and Fnatic have got to close in on Warren. As we have just passed the halfway stage. Yannick leading the US Grand Prix, yet to pit. And Birdie with a 3-second time penalty, even if he doesn't do any team games, as long as Samurai sticks with him around about 3 seconds, he'll beat his teammate. But for now, he's got a chasing pack behind him as Warren goes to the left. Callum will have to just sit behind for now. And considering it's this part of the track, what was 1.7 is now over 2 seconds. So instead of you thinking Birdie would hold them up, Warren's holding them up. And I'm sure Callum won't be happy with this. If he wants to get on the podium, maybe in second place, if he can't catch Samurai, he can still maybe stick within 3 seconds of Birdie. And I'm sure even after they get past Warren, he can still do that. But this is certainly hurting his gap to the Williams. It's up to nearly 3 seconds as Warren gets another time penalty. But you'd assume Callum will be overtaking Warren by the end of the straight. The battery difference, the tyre difference, dare I say even the skill difference. As Warren loses the car slightly on exit, goes to the left. But there's nothing really much he can do now. Callum will fly by. Fnatic watching this unfold as well. Has he got enough to gain on the Ferrari too? Down the inside goes the Haas. And it looks like he's going to get the move as well. Warren will hang it around the outside, but can't quite do it. Perfection from Fnatic to place his car there. But Warren pushing him through that corner. Losing the car slightly, and they have gotten away. So, 3 seconds now. Callum has to chase down Samurai, who I'm sure Birdie won't hold him up per se, but you can expect maybe a swap on the next lap between these two. Samurai's just going to make sure he keeps his tyres in check, and warnings, I guess, in check as well. Same with Callum and Fnatic, two drivers who will certainly be wanting to chase them down. Louis now with his second penalty. Cal down there in 12th without one. Same with Toby, who's on the freshest tyres, so maybe watch him towards the end. Grush, he's been a bit under the radar, but he's not too far away from Dello, who's caught Warren, who's actually caught a bit towards Fnatic and Callum, but because he's behind Warren, might lose a bit now. And look at that, Birdie's nearly caught up to Yannick. A pit stop. Birdie pitted lap 9 onto 10. It's lap 16, 7 laps. And he's already caught pretty much 2/3 of a pit stop from where Yannick was behind him. Birdie, 50%. Samurai, practically a full battery. Not actually that close to him. He was within a second at the detection point. It went over a second there on the exit. But he got a good exit. And they're currently pulling away from Callum, who might have to work with Fnatic to swap and get closer. But right now, Callum going defensive to the left. Whether that was to let him go or not, it doesn't matter, because Callum parking his car. So, he wants the fight then. He doesn't want to close up to the front. Dello gets ahead of Warren. Fair enough. The one he fought the most was Birdie, which I thought if every overtake would be like that. But now, Samurai's right on the doorstep of his teammate. And maybe they can just help each other enough to secure this 1-2. It's going to be difficult, though. There's Yannick. So maybe they'll even actually catch him on this lap. Birdie might get another helping of DRS. This could be quite interesting with Callum. How quickly they can get past Yannick. You'd assume he'll be in this lap. Same with Warren. Oh, no, Warren's already in. It's getting a bit overcast as well here at Texas. But I'm sure weather will stay well clear. It's stayed well clear all season, really. The only actual wet session we've had this season was a wet qualifying in Netherlands, I believe. No, Singapore, sorry. One week after that. And then, you know, a bit of rain at the end of Silverstone, but a few drops. Didn't really change anything. So, Birdie's caught up to Yannick. I don't really know if there's a lot Yannick can really do here to stop the Williams from getting past. As far as Dello has had a spin. So the man who started on the front row was fighting for the lead for so much of the first stint. His race has gone from bad to worse. There goes Birdie past Yannick, and there goes Samurai also past the RB. That was orchestrated very well from Williams. And Yannick didn't fight it too much. You can see his hards are withering away. I mean, it'll be a while before Callum catches Yannick, if Yannick was to continuously stay out, but you'd assume he will be pitting soon. And I guess his focus is whether, as you can see how close Samurai is to Birdie there, Yannick will be focusing on where he comes out, maybe just in front of Louis, as that's Dello holding off Cookster. Now Cookster's getting a taste of his own medicine, trying to get ahead, but Dello's parking his car. There's more yellows. Where's that? That's Toby, who's had a moment there. I thought he was quite close to Cookster and Dello, but who knows. Yannick stays out, actually, as Cookster now gets a second time penalty. So, Yannick deciding one more lap. He will be the quickest man on track once he pits, though. But that's going to be quite close with, I'd say, the Alpine, or around about where Toby is. Callum hasn't really got as much pace as I thought he would, compared to when he was on the mediums, as Dello and Cookster fight side by side. Dello still in front of the Red Bull, and with no battery to his name. Birdie is so mighty, as Cookster gets another penalty. Birdie's so mighty in that first sector. He pulls away massively from Samurai. I guess Dirty Air does help. But right now, Birdie is helping Samurai so much by towing him along. It's actually the opposite of what he's done the 2 times before. But now, he's weaving a little. He's got the flashing light. That allows Samurai to fly past his teammate. And there's the swap. With 10 laps to go, Samurai's back into the lead of the US Grand Prix. He's got fresher tyres than his teammate by 2 laps. And now, we'll see what he can do. And will Birdie even need to defend? Can Samurai now try and help his teammate get home and make it a Williams 1-2? It's not very often recently we've seen teams get 1-2s. It's usually always been, there's always a much better driver than the other. But Williams went into this season, and a lot of people, especially me, considered them to have the best lineup. And, well, it's taken 17 races for them to show a potential 1-2 on the cards. But right now, they're doing that very well, as Yannick now pits. And I believe Callum did close in a little on the Williams. It's Fnatic is promoted to 4th as well. So Yannick will pit onto the mediums. He's gone long, unlike Baku, where he pitted too early because of the virtual safety car. He said even if the virtual safety car didn't come in, he was pitting that lap, which is quite surprising. Grush just in no man's land at the moment, unfortunately, in P5. I stand corrected. Cal gets a penalty now. I think Callum lost some time, obviously, because the two Williams were DRSing one another. I think right now they might just swap each lap at this rate until maybe Samurai's got the pace over Birdie, because Birdie, of course, has older tyres. But right now, Williams playing the perfect team game. Samurai is deciding to blast, so it looks like he's going to tow Birdie along for this lap. No sort of swap, and right now, that's good enough. As you can see, now it is definitely getting a lot more overcast, at least up front. Still some blue sky to the sides. And yeah, Birdie, who's had one podium to his name in Baku last season of P3. He's never finished second. He's never had a win. And I'm sure without that time penalty, maybe things would be a bit different. But right now, that pen has kind of cemented himself of not winning this race. But he can at least still hang on to second. But right now, he's trying to hang on to DRS. As Samurai puts it into none, which may have helped Birdie slightly there. They've got incredibly high amounts of battery. And you can see Callum, who was 3.7 behind, is now 2.7 behind. He's gained a whole second on Birdie this lap. And Fnatic, not really pushing that hard. He's letting Callum do the work for him. Might have to do a little now to make sure he's still within DRS. But Callum now is getting on with it. This race is far from over. We've still got a lot of laps to go as Louis gets his third pen. So 6 people without pens. Toby, Yannick, Grush, Fnatic, Callum and Samurai. Let's check in on Yannick then. Started 8th, is 8th. And you'd think he'll be 8th at worst. So now he can get on with it. 19 seconds off the lead. I'm sure the win isn't really what he's thinking about. But there's 2 people in front of him, definitely with pens. So 6th is definitely on the cards for Yannick. And maybe even 5th with Grush's race pace right now. Birdie. I wonder if Samurai might not be getting the memo. There's so many different ways this could be playing out. Either Birdie just wants Samurai to tow him along, or Birdie wants to swap with him. And either Samurai is not understanding one, or he's understanding the other. Whatever the case, right now it's still okay for them because Callum hasn't gained anything on this lap. In fact, he's lost a 10th so far. And I wonder if Callum and Fnatic started swapping. Could they have closed up a little more? You can see this is the part of the track where Samurai just pulls away from Birdie so much. Birdie's sending over there. He's already got a penalty. I guess he can risk 1 or 2 more warnings, but we're still 8 laps away from the end, so he's got to be careful. Same with Callum and Fnatic and Samurai. 1 slip up, 1 penalty, and the other is looking much better for a podium. 4 drivers, and one of them's going to miss out. And right now, it's Birdie. Once again, at the rate this is going, Birdie is once again just going to miss out on a podium and come home 4th with the way the gaps are transpiring. But we'll see. I think at this stage, Birdie's just got to try and do everything to hang on to Samurai and just defend as much as he can from those behind to protect Samurai as Louis... Oh, it's left. Thought he retired. Right, lap 21 then, 8 to go. And, well, now you can see, at least on the left-hand side, it's overcast. On the right, still a bit of cloud, as I'm pretty sure there isn't any rain forecast. I haven't actually checked the chat since we readied up in qualifying. As we see in the background there, down the inside goes Fnatic on Callum. He's been patient, he's been waiting, but Callum with the switchback. This fighting will help the Williams get away slightly. Callum not letting it go, trying to hang it around the outside, but alas can't get back in front. So now Fnatic is the one chasing the 2 Williams. Let's have a look. Nope, nothing said. So we'll see if there's any rain about. Yannick ahead of Cookster. He's done what a few others couldn't and get ahead of the Red Bull at this part of the track. So Yannick up to 7th now. And we'll close in on Dello, and then we'll have to gain about a second a lap to get a top 5 finish. Remember, Grush and Yannick. They're fighting for third in the driver's standings. They're separated by 3 points. And right now, because Yannick will beat Dello because of the pens, he will be 2 points clear, meaning he'll be overall 5 points ahead of Yannick. But if Yannick can close up to Grush and beat him, then 3 points will go down to 1 point between these two for third in the standings. As Toby will fall more behind, and Yonder, who's not done the last couple of races now, who did have a shout at third, will fall even further behind as well, and this will allow Fnatic and Callum to close up to them as well, sitting in 7th and 8th in the standings. Birdie currently in 11th in the standings on 36 points. He's looking to increase that total after barely turning up in the first half. He's showing a lot more potential. You'd assume after last season, this season, Birdie could have been fighting for the title. But again, his attendance and some of his mistakes, looks like he still needs one more season. But it looks like he's trying to finish it on a high and at least get a podium. But right now, that's going to be tough. The laps ticking down. I'm sure for Samurai, they are taking a lot longer than he would have wanted. It is quite a long track compared to many others. The final 3 races after this, pretty short tracks. Mexico, Brazil, definitely short tracks. Abu Dhabi, it's a shorter track. And Birdie doing well to stick within a second, considering he's on older tyres. Fnatic bringing the gap down a few tenths bit by bit. And come the end of the race, he should be with these two, but with the DRS and whatnot, his best bet is getting Birdie, but does he even have to get Birdie because of the penalties? We'll see. So yeah, Samurai, who started on pole, currently leading the race. Birdie started 5th, started on the softs, gained some ground, managed to hold his ground, but by the time he pitted, currently in 2nd, unfortunately with a penalty. Fnatic's up by 1 place, Callum up by 2, Grush down by 2, Dello down by 4. Yannick and Cooks have swapped around, and you'd expect Yannick to get Dello on this straight coming up. Toby's where he was. Warren up 2 places, currently scoring a point, to be fair to him. And then the 2 Alpines, then Adam, about to be lapped. Alright, as soon as they cross that line, 5 to go. And the gap is under 2 seconds now between Fnatic to Birdie. I think Birdie's starting to realise more and more, as there's a bit of marbles on his right-hand tyre there. Birdie's starting to realise more and more. Clearly, these two are going to beat me because they're within 3 seconds. So I'm going to finish 4th. So how much does he hold Fnatic up for Samurai? Because the last thing he wants is to give them DRS to close them even further. But that is what's going to happen now. 5 laps to go then. Don't go anywhere. This is going to get closer and closer. We've had a total of 5 cars at its peak fight for the win. Unfortunately, one of them, of Dello, has just fallen a bit further behind towards the end of his first stint. So now it is 4 cars for the win, 3 mainly in contention because they don't have time penalties. Oh, I really want to check the race director to see what's going, like, penalty warning wise, as Yannick does get past Dello a little later than what I thought, but he's in 6th, 5 to go. He's got to take 6 seconds out of Grush. Right, they're pretty far away, so okay, we'll have a look. Lap 4. Lap 15. Lap 4, exceeding. Lap 15, exceeding. So, Samurai, the race leader, is on 2 warnings. These are stressful times for the Williams, who knows every point is critical, but right now we are talking about so many points from being either 1st or 3rd right now, as he laps Adam. Didn't really get in his way too much. Fnatic almost within a second of Birdie. So Samurai, since lap 15, pretty much has to do 1/2 of the race, trying not to get a single warning. Watching every apex, exit, entry. Birdie goes wide. He doesn't care right now, as he's lapping Adam, who as Callum now gets a time penalty. So Adam's trying to unlap himself, and Samurai's about to see green. It's his favourite colour, but I'm sure that's not what he wants to see right now. To the inside, he sees Adam, but you'd assume Adam will have to move for blue flags too, because right now this has been being a bit more of a nuisance than anything. Sure, Birdie will get annoyed because now the top four are all within a second of one another. However, Callum has now got a time penalty. So the worst Samurai will finish is second right now if he gets a pen. For now, it's either Fnatic or Samurai that's going to win this race. But for Samurai's sake, he has a rear gunner in between them. And for Adam's sake, this is a little annoying. How old is tyres? They're new, so even though Adam's usually off the pace, those mediums will probably be able to make it a bit more equal. Adam closing in. Good battery between the top three. Callum is starting to struggle, though. Adam finally moves. There we go. Loses the car. Now Fnatic's got to lap him. And as soon as they cross that line, 3 to go. The last 2 laps have gone by like that because of the warnings. Right, let's check Fnatic. 8, 14. Exceeding. Yep, you couldn't write it. So, Samurai starts the third last lap with 2 warnings. Fnatic in third, also on 2 warnings. Dello got his third warning for his 6th 6-second time penalty. Goes off the track, and that allows Cooks to through. So, Fnatic on the outskirts of a second, however, with Adam in between them, might still be able to get DRS. But because of Callum's penalty, this is helping Birdie's chances of being back on the podium now. So, oh my god, that's definitely another warning. Oh, it was that a bit of rain. It looked like rain on the exit there. It's sometimes very hard to see when you're spectating, but I think for now it was all right. Anyway, 2.5 laps to go. Samurai and Fnatic are 1 warning away from declaring the other driver as the winner. But right now they're trying to stay as consistent as possible. The tensions are running high. Fnatic has got DRS from Adam, and he may have been within a second of Birdie anyway. They're all pretty spaced out, but for now, Samurai's doing everything right. 32 points. He came into today trailing Oren, not racing. Right now, it would go to 7. If he gets a time penalty, it will go to 14. That is a huge gap when it comes to this kind of stage in the end of the season. It's practically the difference between a win and second, as they're really getting their elbows out between Dello and Cookster. All race this part of the track between all of them. Birdie once again going off, and he's got a second penalty. I'm pretty sure we've caught all 3 of his last warnings. 2 right there, and 1 when he cut the inside at the start of set 2. So Birdie's just given up his podium, now thinking about it, because Callum is back within. Because obviously Birdie's got a second penalty. So Birdie has just thrown away a P3 finish. And it's now going to be P4 if he carries on. And if they maybe tangle, you never know with Grush. Yannick has kept the gap constant to Grush. So right now, Grush will be 5 points ahead after being 3 ahead. Finishing in P5. 2 to go then. For the Williams, 1 and 2. It won't be a 1-2. Fnatic will keep up his very consistent record of fighting up at the front. But right now, he's coming up short. And if he wants to win this race, he's got to do it on track. But the Williams, in great formation, will not let that happen. The clouds coming over the track. And I think if this race went on for maybe 10 more laps, we would get some rain. Birdie pulling left, trying not to close up to Samurai. He's letting him have this, even if it wasn't for the championship. He's got the penalties, and he's his teammate. Birdie, who can be aggressive with everyone else. He's got a soft spot for when he's up against his teammate. And right now, Birdie is the best teammate you'd want to have. He's driven the wheels off that Williams, considering he's on older tyres. And right now, it may be in Samurai's best interest to just keep Birdie within DRS. It's always this part of the track. Samurai gets it to a second, but Samurai closes up. You can see it's back down to 7/10. He knows the game. He's keeping Birdie with him. It's on purpose. Round the final corner then to start the 28th and final lap of the United States Grand Prix. And now Birdie is under pressure, but he's got a full battery against Fnatic, who's closing up to the Williams. He goes defensive to the inside. Has he got the tyres to get on the power? Can Fnatic get the switch on him? It's going to be close, but Fnatic's the one who actually loses his car slightly. He's closing up to the Williams as Samurai is just keeping the gap constant. Toby with a penalty now, so that remains 4 people without a penalty. And Samurai allowing Birdie to close right back up to him. Both full batteries, so Samurai knows what to do. Birdie knows what to do. Fnatic, he doesn't know what else he can do, as he's actually almost going to lose DRS here, but he should just about get it by a 10th, and he's actually not that close. Does Samurai let Birdie have this on track? Will Birdie fight it? They've got to make sure they don't fight each other. Callum right now hanging on for P3, another great podium for the Aston. Fnatic has done everything he can, but it's going to be second at the moment. Is Birdie going to try and overtake Samurai? Will Samurai even bother fighting it? The Williams are going to fight. No, they're not. Birdie just testing Samurai, just making sure he's awake. That could have been very bad. Birdie, he's got jokes. But for now, he's being serious with the Williams 1-2 on track. Again, unfortunately, it won't be a 1-2, but they have played their cards perfectly. The great formation. Like I said, Callum will be home with a great P3. Fnatic with a great P2 at home. But the 25 points that Samurai really needed in this stage of the championship are going to go to him. He's worked so hard for this one. He's going to convert pole into win again. A very crucial win. Samurai wins the US Grand Prix in tremendous style. Williams on top ahead of Fnatic and Callum. Birdie once again will have to settle for 4th, but he is by far surely got to be driver of the day with hanging onto those tyres, keeping his pace up, and Samurai has closed the gap from 32 down to just 7 points with 3 races to go. The game is very much back on, and Samurai driving like we've never seen before. He is not ready to give up on this championship, and now it is a proper fight. Oren versus Samurai. Grush comes home in 5th, Yannick 6th, Toby managed to get 7th in the end ahead of Dello, Cooks to 9th, and Warren has got a point this season. Fair play to him ahead of both Alpines. They'll be disappointed. And Adam will be P13. Samurai has done it then, and that will mean so much to him. His rival out. Once again, it's another clean sweep like it was in his last race at Spa. Oren was out of the race. He won the race, 25-point gain. And once again, like today, another 25-point gain. Oren has got to fight back and watch his back in these final few races. Mexico, Abu Dhabi, Brazil, to crown a champion that we thought at the halfway stage was always going to be Oren. And right now, Oren's still ahead, but not by the gap he would hope. Well, I'm sure Callum will be happy with 3rd. Fnatic, I'm sure, will be maybe a bit disappointed. He didn't quite get the win, but he'll be happy with the good points. And yes, there's no one going to be happier than that man drinking the champagne. How stressful were those last 14 or so laps for both him and Fnatic to not get their 3rd warning. Birdie does get the fastest lap, because of course he does. That brings Williams' total to 10 fastest laps in 17 races. Half the season minimum. They will have the fastest lap. And I think it's 6-4 for Birdie, or maybe 7-3 for Birdie. Either way, I think Birdie is either one off, or Birdie's just equaled the all-time fastest lap record as well. So fair play to him. Wow. Well, let's get the top 3 and hope you all enjoyed that race. Texas does usually always provide a big race for the championship, and once again it has not disappointed in that aspect. Wow. Championship well and truly back on. As for the constructors, 2 points between Aston and RB. Yannick got 6th. Callum got 3rd. So Callum really playing his part. 15, 8, 7. 2 points goes to 9. So 7 points in the drivers, 9 points in the constructors. Wow. Right, let's invite the top 3. Samurai. Fnatic. I guess with Callum, might have to go into Discord. We'll wait for the top 2 at least to join. There we go. Samurai has joined the party. And I'm sure Fnatic will as well. Samurai, are you there, mate? Have you included your audio?
Yes.
Let it all out. Samurai, you have won the United States Grand Prix in Tier 2 Season 12. Probably the most important win of your Tier 2 career and maybe the most satisfying. What are the emotions feeling like?
I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy.
You did
I can't even express myself.
you did absolutely
It,
everything right. I saw you at like 3 or 4 o'clock on time trial and half an hour before the race still doing events. You wanted this and the hunger for it dominated qualifying, never in doubt. The race, obviously, like I said, completely different story, and you came under some pressure, but luckily you had a bit of a rear gunner, and also you had to do it yourself, and you've done just that. And well, it's another dream result, a bit like Belgium, but you've
yeah,
done it again. Congratulations and very well
thank,
done.
thank you very much. Thank you.
So, qualifying, I believe every lap you did, you went quicker, correct?
Yes.
A dream qualifying in that sense because every lap was just faster and faster. You were the only man in the 31s. I'm now just remembering, yeah, I think tier 1 was the 30s, but you were saying, oh, I'm like a second off in time trial. What changed in those hours before the race in practice? What were there any key realizations or just constant practice? How did you prepare yourself to well, not dominate but like excel at a weekend like this?
I mean, I practiced all day because I really, really wanted this. And I think it paid off. Uh, uh, I think what made the most impact was the low wings I used today because, like I told you, it's more. I take the advantage of the medium traction control. So this was the most important, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So qualifying right out the gates, you obviously did your 2 runs at the start. The first run around about always the second off. The second run 7 tenths ahead of the rest. That was a statement already. And then you just kept going quicker and quicker to the fact where Dello was the closest and it was just under half a second. It seemed like the last sector was your strongest because it looked like by the middle everyone was quite near you. Your teammate and even Dello looked like they were quicker than you. And then the last sector, was it due to battery or commitment or how
I
strong were you feeling?
I think I seen this same. I saw this whole thing as same as you did because I think the third sector was really my fastest, I think. But those last two corners, I hate those so much. But the previous corners before that are went the best, I think.
Fair enough, and it also displayed in the race because throughout the three right-handers, you'd always be a second ahead of Birdie, just extend the gap. But maybe because those three right-handers you were really good at, or maybe Birdie had dirtier, and either you'd have to. It looked like you almost backed off a little to keep him within DRS, or whatnot. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. Let's move on to the race. First stint or the first half, you're having a pretty fun battle with Dello. You lost the lead momentarily, got it back, and then kept swapping. What was the game plan there? Did you want to fight? Did you want to just swap and work together, or because it seemed like it had a bit of both, bit of everything?
Uh, I think the first thing it absolutely caught me off guard because Delo had an awesome start. I was like, what he's doing? So I was really surprised, but there was no plan. I think I always wanted to take the lead. Uh, I wanted to. I didn't wanted to let him go. So yeah, and after I saw him get a 3 second penalty, I just knew it was off for him.
Yeah, but it wasn't quite all wrapped up because you got one warning on I think lap 4, and then you got your second warning on lap 15. One,
Yeah.
where did you get both those warnings? And two, how stressful were those last 14 laps? Think just the whole time. No, don't go third warning.
Yeah. It was really stressful after I got my second one, and both of them was in sector one in the chicanes.
Ah, okay, fair enough. Um, so yeah, you had Birdie with you. You had a little bit of a swappage. You got through the traffic very nicely indeed. Um, and yeah, Birdie. It looked like the game plan at first was to swap, but because Birdie had older tyres, it looked like he was just better sticking behind you. You had a little bit of a look on the last lap. I wonder if he was just playing around. Maybe got you a bit nervous there, but lap by lap, the win looked more in feasible. And yeah, Callum got a penalty, so your real only competition was Fnatic, who was also on two warnings in those dying stages. So whoever got their third warning, the other would win. But you just managed to hold off the chasing pack for your third win of the season. And yeah, like Spa, you've gained 25 points on Oran, 32 goes down to just 7. You've made the most of it. You've maximised the opportunities. 3 races to go then. It's not quite done. Still got 7 points, but that is a lot better than, what, 40, 50, whatever it was. You've closed down nearly all of that. Granted, now Owen's done one less race than you, but it is what it is. So, yeah,
Yeah.
very well done. And how are you feeling about Mexico next week? Or maybe even just the last 3 races in general?
Uh, about the last 3 races, I want to keep this momentum up. I hope maybe not like this, but maybe get something on my hands on at the end of the season. Really looking forward to it. And about Mexico, I think I feel the same because first race for me in Mexico, I think I'm gonna have to practice a lot also, but eventually it's gonna work.
Yeah, of course, Mexico, a track which will definitely benefit those from using lower wings, but obviously some corners, mainly the middle sector, will have an impact if you run slightly higher. We'll all see how that plays out. Mexico as well is also another track that usually is very defining in the fight. But yeah, here at the States, the double header last week must have been very disappointing with the damage, the incidents with both Astons. Today you stayed well clear of them and got on with it, did what you need to do, so very well done. Moving on to P2, Fnatic, once again, right up there, challenging for the win. Yeah, very solid race from you, mate. Are you there, by the way?
Yeah.
Hello, have you included your audio?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so it was a qualifying position of 4th, I believe, on the second row.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once again, another quality of just getting the mileage in, lap time, feeling the track, and right at the end, good enough for P4. Were you happy with the lap? Could there have been a bit more? Or
Well, to be honest, I wasn't expecting to be that high. I was expecting to be around the P7 range. So for me, it was a very good start to qualify into the race.
yeah, and then obviously the race began. You saw Birdie behind you on the softs, and he got ahead of you pretty quickly. And then he got ahead of Grush, and then it seemed like Grush just went a bit further down the order. And then you were running with the top guys after all the pit stops. The whole time I was thinking Fnatic will obviously be the last to pit of the medium runners, but for once you actually weren't. It was your teammate. What triggered the decision to pit? I guess you were ahead of Dello, but what triggered the decision to pit on lap 12 instead of 13?
Well, originally it was going to be 13 and Lobster was going to pit 12, but we swapped it mainly because I got ahead of Dello at the end of the straight. So, and I know the undercut is pretty powerful at Kota, so I didn't want to lose a massive ton of time in the end. But I think today I didn't quite get the setup to where I wanted it to in terms of the race setup on the tyres. I did struggle a tiny bit on the front left because I maximised the rear tyres for traction throughout both stints over the race. So I think I might have sacrificed a bit too much in the end. But other than that, it was again another positive race, another P2, almost at the win, but it was just a stretch too far today.
Yeah, so you yourself were also on 2 warnings, so at the end of the race you also had to be pretty careful just in case. I guess for yourself you could push maybe a little bit more than Samurai, because even if you got a pen, you'd still get second after Birdie got his second penalty. But yeah, you've come home once again, very consistent, ones and twos. Again, the star of the second half so far, still climbing away up the order with Callum now, as you're both 7th and 8th in the standings, closing up to the top guys. Who knows where we could be by the end? Could be 3rd all the way down to 8th, fighting for those spots. But we'll see. Considering Yonder didn't race and Toby didn't have a great result, you two have definitely closed up. So very well done for that. And championship-wise, Haas fighting away with Williams for 3rd. I should just going to quickly double-check that. So Williams were 15 ahead of Haas heading into today. Obviously, Williams got 37. Toby finished, what was it, 8th, 9th? Something like that.
Yeah.
So 20, I guess, 37, 17, 15, 32. Okay, so the gap's extended a bit. But, 32, 3 races, still could swap around. We'll see how Birdie goes. And Samurai, especially with you two. I think Toby may have just had a bit more of an unfortunate race. Like he had a moment as well.
Yeah.
With, I don't know, Cookster or someone. Anyway, very well done on P2. Just missing out. Final question, how are you feeling about Mexico next week?
Typically in the past it has been one of my strongest tracks in league racing. Again, I'll probably do a bit like Samurai, put a bit more effort into the setup for the race and try and get as low on the wing as I did today, which didn't exactly go to plan because of the low slipstream effect, but I'll learn for Mexico next week, and I'll again hopefully try and do my best to fight for the win and interrupt this championship fight.
Fair enough. Yeah, great. So yeah, Mexico is definitely going to be one to look forward to, as well, like I said, both championships heading into today were still quite undecided, and now they are very much anyone's game. Callum has agreed to an interview, so I'm just going to hop in the Discord and wait for him there. But as for you two, very well done on your races today. Maximum points for Samurai and a great haul of points for Fnatic. Okay, we're going to go and head to the Discord to interview Callum, but for you two, very well done.
Thank you.
Alright, just going to wait for Callum to join, get his thoughts on the race. But yeah, that race is quite detrimental. When we look over the course of the season, what could be the most important races, that one's definitely going to be in the conversation. But like Samurai and myself said, it's not over. 3 races to go, and he's still the one chasing 7 points. It's the main number between a first and a second, and obviously that could have gone to 14 if Samurai got a penalty today. Then he would have had to win the next 2 and or in second, and then level heading into the final race, I guess. But 7 with 3 races to go. It's actually very similar to what was last season. I mean, while we wait for Callum, I may as well double check actually what were the standings like this time last season. Round 17. Adam was 29 points ahead of Kobe. And then in Mexico, Adam didn't race and Kobe gained the 25 points to bring 29 down to 4. So very similar to last season, except this is 1 race earlier. So it went to 4 points, and then Abu Dhabi, they finished 2nd and 3rd. So heading into the final race, they were 1 point apart. Wow. I mean, Mexico, Abu Dhabi, and Brazil, Oren has had success in the past there. Mexico, he's had a pole, and I think a podium, and then some with Seb, so the win was on the cards. Abu Dhabi, I remember him saying he doesn't like that much, but he's good at it because he's won there before, and he won the final race of season 9. And then Brazil's where Oren got his first podium in the end of season 8. That's for season 9. I can't quite recall, but I don't think it went great for him. Approaching an hour and a half now. Come on, Callum. So yeah, Grush, who led the first round after winning it, then Finn led for the next 3 races, and then round 5, Oren took the lead. Round 6, Samurai went ahead of him, but then since round 7, Oren has led up until now, so that's 11 races in a row as championship leader. Samurai was 3 ahead of Oren, then Oren was 20 ahead of Samurai, then 30, then 37, then 30, then 43, then 18, then 33 and 36 and blah blah blah, and now we're down to 7. So Callum has joined the Discord finally. No worries, mate. Right, Callum has joined P3 at the US Grand Prix. Very well done, Callum, for your team and yourself. Recently, you've been on really good form, getting ever more consistent, getting up there. Yeah. So qualifying was 6th, I believe, right? Fair enough. So P6, and then in the first stint, you were making your way up the order quite nicely. It looked like you had pretty good pace, and then the tyre stops happened, and initially it didn't really look like you had the pace, and then towards the middle of the stint, it looks like you really got on with it, fighting a little bit with Fnatic, closing up, and then unfortunate to get the penalty, but actually, even penalty or not, in the end, in hindsight, it didn't even change anything, so... No, exactly. So a P3 finish, another podium, allowing you and Fnatic 7th and 8th in the standings to close even more towards those guys at the top, heading towards that 100-point threshold, triple-digit barrier, which is great. So yeah, overall, what were your thoughts on the race? Ah, fair enough. Yeah, 20 laps. Yeah, that must be annoying. A couple warnings within the span of a few. It did seem around lap 20 to 25. There was just so many, mainly at the front. People were starting to crack a little. Um, but yeah, in terms of the fight between Aston and RB, well, we can really say every driver in that fight is putting their 2 cents of worth in. Because if it wasn't for you today, RB would be back in front. But the last few weeks have either been 2 Astons, 1 RB, 2 RBs, 1 Aston. Today we have a 1v1 with you versus Yannick. Him in 6th, you in 3rd, 7 points, 2-point gap now goes to 9, and that's all because of you. So, yeah, still hang on to the lead in the Constructors. And is that the main target? Like, what are the few targets in the last 3 races for you? Maybe is it help Oren, go for the Constructors, drive for yourself? What do you think is the best moving forward? A win? Yeah. Fair enough. No, I think with the trajectory you're on, maybe Mexico, because we all know what happened last time you had Mexico. But if here's an old ultimatum, if it comes to, like, you know how today was a Williams 1-2 on track, if it comes to a bit similar to Singapore quali, if it comes to an Aston 1-2, are you willing to give up the victory for Oren, or do you think Oren would be okay with you winning and sacrificing those crucial 7 points? Yeah. Because it's been quite interesting between you two. Because I remember you two even had an incident in Silverstone through the S section. Um, so bit off and on, but the team plays the team play. But you also got to think about yourself. So yeah, with the way you're going, a win definitely could be on the cards, 100%. Um, and then obviously, yeah, the championship focus in the constructors is something you can definitely play a part in. The drivers, like you said, that's all down to Oren. So yeah, you just got to do the best you can. Fair enough. Right. You got any final words you want to say, or anything from the race or quali or championship wise? All right, fair enough. So that has been the EXFL Tier 2 Season 12 United States Grand Prix, a very um, important race in the fight for the championship in both championships between Aston and RB, Oren and Samurai. Samurai has converted pole into victory once again, and this might just be his most important one yet. But we still got 3 races to go to decide the champions of Season 12, and we'll be there in 1 week in Mexico City to see how the last few races unfold.